Welcome back, my friends. If you're new here, I am Lance, aka Mr. Meta, and welcome back to the channel. Nice. Today I want to check out Thai Rivera again because I saw this one video he posted talking about the gay cruise that went over, tried to go to Turkey and Egypt, and they got denied because they're Muslim countries, obviously. I want to know a little bit more, so Thai's going to tell us what is going on. And of course, with his sense of humor, he has that Gen X sense of humor, which I appreciate. So let's get right into it. I'll leave the link for Thai Rivera down below. If you want to support the channel, like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm. If you want to support this channel a little bit more personally, become a channel member, Lance's Bestie, or hop in on my Patreon and support me through there.
For the second time this week, a gay cruise in the Mediterranean.
A gay cruise, you say? Well, I'd imagine that puts a different spin on the term poop deck. I said deck.
Was denied entry.
Did they come in like any other ship, or did they try to slip in through the back?
The Turkish government banned travelers from docking because of, quote, moral standards.
Couldn't get into Turkey. Maybe they should have tried Greece.
This ship, known as the Scarlet Lady, caters to LGBTQ passengers. It departed from Athens for a Mediterranean tour.
Okay, so they had just departed Athens, so that kind of kills my Greece joke. But A, why does this guy seem so happy to be delivering this news? And B, why is he referring to it as an LGBTQ cruise when, trust me, it was a gay cruise? And C, why do they call it the Scarlet Lady when really it should have been called something like the SS Broken Wrist? But I do kind of wonder why they wouldn't just let them in. I mean, sure, they're gay, but how obnoxious could they be?
Gay cruise update.
Never mind, I see their point. And by the way, full disclosure, I actually know this guy. He's a comedian by the name of Zach Noe Towers. It's not like we're really friends, but we're not enemies either, so let's hear him out for a bit.
He's a comedian?
Okay, so I'm on the gay cruise that was denied entry into Turkey. And it's like, so what? Who cares? If you want a great hair transplant, go to South Korea.
Girl, if you went to South Korea for that hair transplant, I think everybody should just stick with Turkey. I mean, no shade, but you could have just let a Muslim cut off your entire head and got a better result.
So we redirect. We're going to Egypt now instead. Amazing. What an upgrade. Never been to Egypt. Booked my tour to see the pyramids. Wake up this morning. Denied entry into Egyptian waters as well.
On the bright side, you may not have been let into Egypt, but it sounds like you all were certainly in denial about how much Muslims don't like the gays.
No, this doesn't say explicitly because we're gay, but it's because we're gay.
Becky, of course it's because you're gay.
And I think it's just blowing my mind because it's like, I'm on this beautiful ship, shout out Virgin, incredible cruise line, with 1,900 amazing men.
Okay, I'm officially on Egypt and Turkey's side after hearing that. I mean, I'm not allowing 1,900 butt pirates to storm my ports either. Besides, I know how gay men get down on these cruises, so I definitely would not allow this floating petri dish anywhere near my country if I were Egypt or Turkey.
I'm working for Atlantis, best gay cruise company you will ever find, and both Virgin and Atlantis are going to make sure we have a great time, and we will. That's the whole gay experience, like having fun in the face of adversity.
Okay, Zach here is younger than I am, so I would really like to know from Zach, what in recent history have we dealt with as gays as far as adversity goes? Yeah. Because me, being Gen X, I can tell you that I caught the tail end, no pun intended, of actual homophobia, and even I wouldn't go on about how much adversity I've had to face. And I think that if we're being honest about what it's like to be a gay man in 2026, it's actually pretty chill. So sorry if they put a crease in your big gay vacay, but let's not turn this into your opportunity to cosplay oppression.
But it's like, we're too gay to come spend a bunch of money in your country?
And that should tell you exactly how toxic LGBTQ has become. These countries would rather not deal with the headache in exchange for the money. So maybe try to ponder why that might be instead of trying to turn yourselves into the victims in this situation.
I guess 3 thoughts. 1, I would love to hear from the we don't need gay pride people. Don't we?
I'm actually glad you brought that up because I am one of those we don't need gay pride people. And I would argue that...
Is that what he said? It said gay pride. I was like, is that a new term that I didn't know about? Is that's something new? So he meant gay pride? No. Is that what you said? No, gay pride. No. I want to hear what Ty has to say. Probably my same sentiment.
Gay pride and what a mess that has turned into might be a part of the reason. And I would argue, I'm actually glad you brought that up because I am one of those we don't need gay pride people. And I would argue that gay pride and what a mess that has turned into might be a part of the reason that places that we were at least tolerated before now don't want our presence in their countries. Because if you think that other governments haven't noticed what a pain LGBTQ has turned into, you are out of your rainbow colored mind. And while all this is going on, I'm just going to sit back and remind you all that I told you so. I've been warning you for a very long time that this is where things are headed, so now you can all enjoy the world that you've created. That's right, ladies. Enjoy your handiwork.
Two, if you're a country watching this and you have ocean access, you host We Travel?
For those of you that don't get the reference, that's a Grindr joke.
Yes,
and I just want to throw in really quick, it's this kind of humor that had Zach Noe Towers, the last time I saw him, trying unsuccessfully to get on the show at the mothership, while I myself was actually a paid performer on that same show.
And three, Patti LuPone's on the ship, and she was pissed when she found out about Turkey. I am truly scared for the country of Egypt when she wakes up and finds out about this.
Why are you so delusional for? If you want to see those countries, instead of being on a gay cruise, just go and visit there yourself. We might not see you again, but why don't you go just visit alone with a friend and not make a big hey, we have a big sign we're a bunch of big mo's over here. Just be inconspicuous and enjoy enjoy the pyramids, or what the fuck do they have in Turkey that I give two shits about? They don't eat turkey, so.
I need you to live in reality and remember that not everybody knows who Patti LuPone is. Actually, I had to Google Patti LuPone because I had no idea who she was outside of having heard her name before. It turns out that she's a Broadway legend, which congrats to Patti LuPone on that. But to tell you the truth, I'm not really sure how much any Muslim country is going to care what a woman thinks of their particular policies. But I would, however, suggest that she at least consider covering her hair before she shares her opinions. So let's get into it.
I will not forget that Turkey and its country decided to turn us away.
I'm sure Turkey's like,
remember it, write it down, take a picture, I don't give a fuck.
Take your money, take your ideology, take your ship, and go somewhere else.
Bye, Felicia.
What's up, everybody? So a fair amount of you have been in my comments and in some cases in my DMs asking me what I thought about this story. And spoiler alert, I am neither surprised nor do I really care that these gays got the rude awakening that apparently they needed from two Muslim countries, and hopefully this will wake up some of the queers for Palestine. Just kidding, the queers for Palestine can't afford to go on a cruise. But my real point in all this is I don't understand why anybody would want to send a bunch of gays to either of these countries that aren't friendly to gay people in the first place. I mean, who's picking these destinations? Focus on the family? The Mormons? Richard Spencer? I'm not sure who decided this would be a good idea, but let's go ahead and watch a little more news coverage, and I'll let you guys know as we go a couple more reasons that I am actually on the side of Egypt and Turkey in this one.
Okay. At least 1,000 Americans are on board, including passengers from South Florida.
Thomas Barker is from Miami. The 10-day trip was a gift to him from his husband.
And I would say that if your husband didn't join you on this cruise, there's a pretty good chance he paid up your life insurance before he said that bon voyage.
And so there are thousands of men who come to the ship to celebrate and to feel free to be who we are without any fear of homophobia or to be able to be ourselves in a public space.
Okay, but if that was really the the point of this particular cruise. I don't understand why these were two of the destinations that were on the itinerary. This makes no sense at all to me. Like, I'll tell you guys, one time I was performing in Bahrain. Well, I actually performed in Bahrain twice, except for it was on the same trip, just separated by a couple of days. And the only reason that I did it was because it was for the United States military. But I was told specifically by our military chaperones not to leave the hotel room alone. And really, they would recommend that I not leave the hotel at all unless I had an actual military chaperone with me, which did not make me feel at all welcomed or free. And had it not been specifically for the fact that I was there to perform for our actual troops, I would not have been in Bahrain. So I certainly wouldn't go to a country that shares those same views on my free time while spending my own money. So that already doesn't make sense to me, but I guess go on.
But that freedom of expression was challenged when the ship tried docking in Turkey. The government unexpectedly denied the ship entry because of what they call moral standards. Authorities posted this online. Translated in English, it says, a cruise ship chartered by a group known for behavior that does not align with the values and moral standards of our society and that had generated significant concern among various segments of the public has been canceled. It is absolutely out of the question that this group will come to our province for such an event.
Sounds pretty straightforward to me. And while it may have sounded like I was joking at the beginning, I really wasn't. And I personally, as a gay man, don't have a problem with it, but I did mean it when I said that the gays really do get down, if you know what I mean, on these gay cruises. It's debaucherous, and I can definitely see how Turkey would be like, yeah, you guys aren't coming here to do that in our country.
I mean, I think what's really disappointing is that we spend a lot of our times as gay people really trying to find safe spaces, and going on this cruise is about as safe as it's supposed to get, right? And we were excited to go to new places and potentially experience that safe space in places like Turkey and in Egypt, where it is obviously very difficult to be a gay person in those countries.
Just to be clear, you admit that in your words, it's obviously very difficult to be a gay person in these two particular countries, but you thought that somehow they were going to magically turn into a safe space for you and the other gays on that ship. And also, while we're on the subject of safe spaces, did it ever occur to you that maybe Egypt and Turkey are their safe spaces from people like you?
The cruise was then rerouted to Egypt, but at the last minute, the port was also canceled without any explanation.
We thought that it would be a great opportunity for those people in those countries to also experience what it's like outside of in the rest of the world, where people can be free and be celebrated for who they are.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what they don't want, is you guys coming to their countries and riling up their gays and making them think that they're possibly going to end up in a situation like you guys are in, or being able to express themselves in the same ways that you guys do. Yeah. And while maybe I personally don't agree with that, and I think that people should be able to express themselves however they want to, at the same time, as a logical person, I have to understand that not every country is going to be like the United States. And I'll also go back to my point that any government that has been paying attention to what LGBTQ has turned into in countries where people are more welcoming of or are more likely to celebrate LGBTQ has been a huge lesson for them in why you don't want to allow LGBTQ ideology to get a foothold in your society. And that's something that, once again, the LGBTQ community should really reflect on, rather than just try to come at it from a victim mentality and say to ourselves, okay, why is it that nobody likes us and nobody wants us around, when just a couple years ago things were much easier and we were being allowed access in these same places that now deny us entry?
In a statement, Atlantis Events said in part, they hope this is an isolated incident and to return in the future. They also hope Egypt and Turkey will welcome all guests without conditions or prejudice.
Okay, almost no country that I've been to, and I have been to a few, just allows people there with no prejudices or conditions. That's kind of what the whole customs process is about. That's also why you usually fill out a questionnaire on your way there to say exactly what you're doing and exactly what you're about, so that they can decide whether or not they want to allow allow you into their country. And I know this is going to come as a huge surprise to a lot of lefties, but even before Donald Trump was our president, the United States itself had conditions and prejudices that they would not allow people in this country because of. So it really is a lot to ask to think that they're just going to allow people in their countries unvetted. But at the same time, it's very shocking to me that the cruise line still expresses that they would like to go back at some point. This is a huge problem I have with the LGBTQ community and the gay community as well, if we're being more specific, that they're so desperate to feel like people accept them that they'll do anything to gain that acceptance. And then at the same time, they'll have the nerve to call people like me a pick-me. And I'm like, I'm a pick-me? I'm not the one begging for access to places that clearly don't want me. But before we get out of here, let's actually hear from the CEO of Atlantis Cruise Lines.
How do you feel about the fact that this country has said no to you? That is so shocking, no?
Yes, it is. And the one way I can put it is, the LGBTQ plus community is very resilient. We just came out of Pride Month.
Which was a flop. If we're being 100% honest, here in the United States, Pride Month was an absolute flop. And that in itself should tell you something. Because if you take a country that for a couple years there was supportive almost, I would say, to a fault, and now all of a sudden they're not even having it, you should know that countries like Egypt and Turkey are really not going to be having it. And I saw the video of that queen that was trying to blame the Trump administration, and I'm sorry, you really can't blame the Trump administration for this one. This one is 100% on the shoulders of the LGBTQ community, the LGBTQ activists, and any gays that are insistent on pushing themselves and their ideologies onto other people and onto other societies. But definitely do go on.
Where we recognize the Stonewall riots and standing up for ourselves.
Do we really recognize the Stonewall riots and what they were actually about? Because as far as I can tell, most gay people, or more broadly LGBTQ people, not only don't know the history of the Stonewall riots, but when you tell them what the actual history was, rather than the fairy tale that they've been sold, they get angry with you and think that you're giving them misinformation. So if you ask me, as gay people, we do not honor what Pride Month is actually supposed to be about. And that, again, is a big part of the reason that you're not getting even the support from everyday gay men, lesbians, and bisexuals at this point.
Where we recognize coming out of the AIDS epidemic, where we recognize that we won the fight for marriage equality. So we're resilient people. We can bounce back from a whole lot. However, I will say, I will not forget that Turkey and its country decided to turn us away.
He will not forget. I'm sure Turkey's like,
Remember it. Write it down. Take a picture. I don't give a fuck.
They 100% do not care. Take your money, take your ideology, take your ship, and go somewhere else.
Bye, Felicia.
Your kind ain't welcomed here.
As I'm sure there hasn't been an official Pride event in Turkey since 2015, ever since the Erdogan administration began. And he has not been a friend to the LGBTQ plus community. So it's not much of a surprise. But things change, and we just keep soldiering on.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. First, go to Riverside and open an account. When you're ready to record,
CNN has reached out to the Turkish Ministry of Culture and Tourism, the Turkish Embassy in Washington, and Virgin Voyages for comment.
Hold your breath and let me know what they say when they answer, because I would be willing to bet that they either won't answer or they'll just reiterate what they already said. This is not compatible with our way of life, and that's something that the gay community and the LGBT activists are just going to have to accept, is that community has made it so a lot of people just don't want to deal with them. And yes, I do think it is very telling of exactly how much people don't want to deal with them, them that they're willing to turn down the tourism dollars of 1,900 people. That's exactly how big of a headache we've become. That's exactly how much people don't want to deal with us. And that's something for the community to really ruminate on and decide moving forward if we want to continue down this track and see more and more countries decide to deny us access when we show up in numbers. Because if you show up just you and your partner and you pretend to be straight or do whatever it is you have to do to, in their eyes, be respectful of what their norms are, then you probably have a pretty good chance of getting to enjoy these particular cultures like anybody else. But as long as you think that you're going to go in and show them what freedom looks like, you're probably going to continue to be denied, and that's something for you to either work on or not work on. But either way, I nor the governments respectively from Turkey or Egypt care what you decide to do or how you decide to spend your vacation time. And that's really where I'm at on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, he's a fellow Gen Xer. I can relate to him. And he has a great sense of humor. And his edits, his Friday edits, I was like, good God, that brings me back some. I want to watch some Friday. But you're lucky to be turned away than actually getting entered into the country and then you being harmed. You'd rather be turned away and just tail between your legs and just keep on pushing. I don't know what to tell you. It's stupid to begin with. Why would you even do that to begin with? And he made a good point. Like, the LGBT community is just, at this point, it's just become a nuisance. It's become untethered for years, because they have activists running the whole LGBT and HRT or HRC, whatever it's called, it's all activists now. There's nobody in there with any kind of morality, or I don't know. It's crazy, but I enjoyed his take on this. He's funny, and he hit some great points on it. So let me know what you thought, and take care of yourself, take care of each other. Peace and grease.